Hello, I'm Azrael. Thank you for tuning into my channel. And this is...
I am Lady Lilith, and I'm awesome.
She is. Today we're going to be talking about Thieves Vinegar, its origins and some basic uses for it. We have a special guest here, a 15th century plague doctor, Mr. Cornelius Agrippa. So, Cornelius, can you tell us about the origins of the Four Thieves?
Well, it was happened in the 1500s. And then, when it was the Four Thieves.
I can't seem to understand you. How about take off your mask?
No! I don't want to be a victim to that poisonous gas!
You know, I'm beginning to think you're not taking this very serious.
It's good.
Eeny, Chili Beanie, the spirits are about to speak.
Well, since he doesn't want to take off his mask, we're just going to have to do this video ourselves. Okay, the Four Thieves originated in the 15th century during the plague. Okay, so, little side note, the reason why the plague doctor has a crow's beak that looks all freaky is that they thought it was bad air that spread the plague, foul odors. So they put essential oils and
Herbs and flowers
in the nose. Okay, so anyway.
I'm pretty sure it made it smell better.
Well, yeah, either way. I mean, you're talking about the 1500s where people didn't bathe regularly and yet they're dying and probably already dead.
Dead bodies out on the street. So, yeah, I'd rather smell the lavender flowers.
Which brings us to the Four Thieves. Now, there are just as many origin stories as there are recipes, and the recipes are numerous because people, they don't want to stick to tradition. They want to add their own little personal touch. Okay, so this is how it goes. The most popular story is that there was four thieves. These four thieves were robbing and stealing from people who were dying and too weak to fight, as well as stealing from the dead. So they concocted a vinegar that they would bathe their body with to protect them from the plague. Now, traditionally, a lot of times, especially the Four Thieves that you buy over the counter, has a tendency to only have 4 ingredients, one representing each of the Four Thieves. However, the original recipe had like almost 30 different ingredients. There's actually a place in Europe, a museum, which actually said they had the actual ingredients of the original Four Thieves vinegar.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, lucky for them, some of the ingredients actually repels fleas, and that's how the plague was spread. So if this story is true, they're covered in vinegar with all these things that repel fleas. The plague doctor here, he's covered head to toe. That did add some protection. So how the story goes is that when they were caught, they were either threatened with penalty of death for stealing, or they were forced to work in the fields burying the bodies of the plague victims. But they asked for leniency by trading their secret and why they did not get infected. And their secret was the Four Thieves vinegar. Okay. Now, again, like I said before, ingredients that come from like some of these hoodoo shops where it says Four Thieves vinegar that you get in a little small jar, very cheaply made. It probably only has 4 ingredients representing the Four Thieves. Mm-hmm. But even their recipe had like 30 something, including wormwood. I like to make my Four Thieves vinegar with a modest amount of herbs and spices that are edible because I like to eat my vinegar like in like salad dressings and stuff with ritual magic. But anyways, I digress. So the ingredients are
Garlic.
I do like to carry the tradition of, at least with my garlic, I put 4 cloves of garlic, one representing each of the Four Thieves. Other ingredients would be
Sage.
Sage. Go up in there. Oh, probably probably save some sage for later. That's a lot of sage.
That's a lot of sage.
Using fresh herbs are a little bit better than using the dry herbs, but I digress.
We also have parsley or rosemary. That one's rosemary. So we have rosemary. And you might bring a rosemary in there. I love rosemary.
Rosemary is an all-purpose herb, and you want your Four Thieves vinegar to be all-purpose as possible, okay?
And then we have thyme.
A few sprigs of thyme never hurt anybody. Well, after all, we have all the time in the world.
Keep the plate free.
Enter fake laughter soundbite there. I don't think my people are listening like that. They're like, get on with this. Okay, and then of course,
parsley. We got parsley.
all right.
Save no parsley for me. And of course, we have crushed red pepper.
I like these. I like using dried red peppers more than the fresh ones.
If you don't have any of these, order some Papa John's and get some free packets.
Urban grazing for the modern witch.
I tell you what.
All right. All right. Now, sometimes I'm not doing it here. I also will add a pinch of salt or two or so. Now, we use white vinegar.
Just to let you know about the vinegar, some people like to use apple cider vinegar, and I think it's a good choice when you have it available and you can afford it, because it's kind of like getting 2 out of 1. You know, you get the apple cider vinegar and you have multiple ingredients. But white distilled vinegar is just fine. You can use that, not a problem. It's cheaper. Budget witch too. Anyway.
And into this we go. Now, you're going to have to wait 3-4 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, whatever. You're going to have to wait some time. Let the vinegar help get the flavoring from it, okay? Now, again, I like to make vinegar that is edible with edible ingredients that are almost all-purpose, because I like to add food magic, which I'll do videos on that too.
Yeah, kitchen witchery is best. Now, the other thing is, when you use fresh herbs, it tends to steep in the vinegar quicker, so that helps. It's fresh ingredients are always the best to use if you can. And another tip that I recommend if you want to speed the process along of drawing out those oils from the fresh ingredients is to kind of give them a little crush, if you can, so that they get in there faster.
Now, it's customary by a lot of people to baptize each ingredient if you're doing a hoodoo type tradition, or witches will, tell each herb what they want it to do. I sometimes have a tendency just to do it all and then repeat the ingredients for what I want them to do, which is basically to protect me and to obey my works. And each time I use this vinegar, I will address it and say what I want. Now, I'll also put a candle and charge this every so often. Now, when you use some, especially with this type of vinegar, this is going to preserve the herbs too. It'll pickle it, so you can use it for a very long time. So you can refill it a little bit using the same herbs for a long time. So you get a lot of use out of this, okay?
If you decide that you want to use this, like you were saying, for any kind of cooking, definitely sample it first, because you don't know how much pepper flakes you put in there.
Fiery protection, also fiery burning booty. Anyway,
There goes my smelly fart again.
So, some uses for this. I'm going to give you two uses. Now, I'm not advocating anything on this because a lot of people, well, it's immoral, really. You won't find this in any spell book for the most part, or ingredients. A lot of times, especially in the 1800s, when making Four Thieves vinegar, sometimes any item that was stolen was placed into the vinegar to symbolically align with those energies, okay? Now, that if you're going to do something like that, you could do that as something as simple as going to your neighbor's yard and taking a leaf off their tree. It's stolen. They didn't give you permission for that, but there's no harm done. Okay, but I don't advocate it. I'm just giving that out there because learning, right? Four Thieves vinegar is used for just about everything, protection and so forth. One of my favorite rituals that I can teach right here is taking a piece of brick that might have broken off the side of your house or a rock from your property. I would advocate using a copy of your key to your house that you've actually used to open and close your door and lock it. Put the key into a small jar with some 4 Thieves vinegar, and this will help protect you against thieves. You still have to lock your door and be safe, but this helps promote protection. You could also anoint
your windows and doorways.
You could also add this to like an apple, facilitate healing in a healing ritual. Now, I advocate always going to your doctor and using magic as supplemental medicine, not to go alongside the actual scientific medicine. One of the things that I like doing this that you might not find any book about 4 Thieves vinegar is it's also used for hexing, especially using the for protection, of course, or attacking, you might want to say, because as above, as below. Every ingredient that you can use for healing, you can use to harm in magic. You just gotta, it's how you charge it. And what they used to do back in Louisiana, hoodoo and voodoo, they're two separate traditions, but Louisiana voodoo is also very different from Haitian voodoo. Still saying, but in any case, I'm getting indigested there. Sorry about that. Back in the 1800s, before what would be called a self-inking pen, the kind of pens you don't have to dab in an inkwell, they used pencils for this ritual because you couldn't dab it into the ink and then into the 4 Thieves because it'll just cause the ink to be runny. But they would take a freshly sharpened pencil, dip the tip of the pencil into the 4 Thieves vinegar, and then use that same pencil to write the name of the person who's being hexed, or you're trying to hotfoot or whatever. And so that's just a little tip on how it's used to more of a instead of passive, but more of an aggressive form of it. So anyway, there's a lot you can do. I might do more videos on 4 Thieves uses later. My lovely wife, thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of the video.
I don't know if we're going to have that doctor come back.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy.
Really, for real, dude. We've known you for several days, and you've never taken that mask off. What do you really look like under there?
Well, guess we got to get out of here. Bye, everybody. We have other stuff to do, but you know what they say. Time flies when you're having fun.